Roach, well, obviously he's a solid fighter. But for me, Tank Davis is in the elite class of boxing right now. He's just in the higher altitudes of the sport. He's in the top five for me. When you talk about the top five best pound for pound right now, you're saying something. And for me, he's there not just because he's a puncher, because he's an all-round package. He can box, he can counterpunch, he can go get you, he can go to the body, go to the head, put punches together. His defense is responsible, he's patient, he's mentally together. As I said, he
Teddy Atlas made a bold statement, ranking Gervonta Davis among the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. He believes Gervonta Davis' skill set is simply too much for Lamont Roach. Gervonta Davis the clear favorite.
Yeah, both of them is true. I feel like Lamont's definitely a solid opponent. He's moving up. I feel like Tank, he tried to fight Loma, and I don't really know what happened with Shakur, but I know Loma didn't want to take the fight, and I don't really know what happened with Shakur. It just didn't fall through. So, Lamont's a next solid opponent. He's moving up. He's chasing greatness, and Lamont's very solid.
However, Carmo offered a different perspective, acknowledging Roach as a talented fighter, Gervonta Davis a big leap in pursuit of greatness. He pointed out that while Gervonta Davis other potential opponents, Roach was the one who stepped up when others didn't. Meanwhile, Molden argued that many are underestimating Roach, suggesting the fight could be far more competitive than people expect.
I think it's going to be interesting. Like I said before, I think it's going to be interesting. Probably for maybe the first half of the fight. I think the first half of the fight is going to be a little interesting. I still think Tank is going to just be able to physically overwhelm Roach. You know what I'm saying? I think Roach is probably going to try to move out of box and stuff like that. But I think Tank is going to physically overwhelm him later on.
Him in the later rounds. According to Russell, Roach's movement and boxing ability might give him an edge early on. Gervonta Davis' power and relentless pressure will eventually wear him down. He predicts that as the fight progresses, Gervonta Davis take control, breaking Roach's rhythm and ultimately overwhelming him with his superior strength and finishing ability.
Roach is flat-footed. He's flat-footed. He's slow on his feet. He's not the fastest guy on his hands. He doesn't have like hellified defense or anything like that. What you see is what you get. What you see is what you get with these guys. When you're dealing with Tank, Tank, he gives away the first half of the fight.
Russell Jr. wasn't convinced about Roach's chances, describing him as flat-footed, slow, and lacking a light defense. Exactly the type of fighter who wouldn't trouble someone like Gervonta Davis in his view.
We all know, the hood know who Roach is.
DMV guy.
The culture know who Roach is. We definitely
back
know
with Tank.
Definitely know who Tank is. So this would be one of those fights that, Tank gonna be able to perform. Roach gonna have to be at his best. But
Roach is straightforward with no surprises. However, he did highlight a recurring pattern in Davis' fights, his tendency to give away the first half before turning up the pressure.
I don't see the Tank train being derailed no time soon. You feel me? The guy's just, like I said, complete fighter, can do it all, box, got a high IQ, and he's a gambler in there. He take risks in the ring like nobody else. You know what I mean? You get your shot off, but then he gonna get his off. And that's when shit get crazy. You feel me? When he start landing his. So, yeah, I can't wait for that fight, man. I hope Roach comes with his best game plan. And that's what these fighters...
If Roach and Gervonta Davis advantage early, he might have a chance, but Russell remains skeptical about his ability to pull off an upset.
Roach, Tank Davis, Tank Davis, no one beating him. The guy is a beast. I mean, the guy's a good boxer. Yeah, the way he's been fighting, honestly, is whoever the point.
Antonio Tarver viewed the fight from a different perspective. Given the circumstances, he believes Roach was the only viable option left for Gervonta Davis at this point. With other top names unavailable, this matchup made sense, especially for the culture.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean,
Is it pay-per-view? Is it pay-per-view worthy?
Nah, not really. Not really pay-per-view worthy, but it's another fight for boxing, another fight for Gervonta Davis. Truly incredible fighter. But it's I don't think I think if he's this is something that fighters that the fans need to fight for. We need to start retaliating with our dollars. You know, and that means not paying for a Gervonta Davis.
Roach has a strong following in the DMV, while Tank is already a superstar. Tarver expects Davis to put on a dominant performance, but for Roach,
I mean, he's the opponent right now. You know what I mean? Because circumstances with other fighters. I think Shakur injured, De Los Santos injured, and other guys I think just got other plans. You know what I mean? To boil it all up. Roach is a sturdy opponent though. Roach is no slouch. You know what I mean? You can't sleep on Roach. I know that. I know they also got history. I know, you know what I mean? There's also things they haven't talked about that they do know about each other. You know what I mean? So I think
the real question is whether he can rise to the occasion and prove he belongs on this stage. Tarver sees no upset happening. He doesn't believe Roach has what it takes to derail the Tank train. In his eyes, Davis is simply too complete, possessing a high boxing IQ, elite skills, and a fearless mentality that sets him apart.
Overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows how to fight. And Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, you know, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that can threaten one another. But I feel like Tank will come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont's fight gives people, you know, a tougher.
The real danger isn't just in Tank's power, but in his mindset.
I think if you understand the history of DC and Baltimore, and then I'm familiar with Roach and them camp a little bit because I'm cool with people that's tight with them and stuff like that. So we all kind of encounter each other. I don't live nothing but 2.5 hours away, right? I wouldn't see none of them coming and laying down. And then Tank is Tank. I think you're gonna get a DMV classic. Like, you're gonna get a good fight. They gonna fight each other. Lamont gonna fight Tank. You know what I'm saying? So for however long it lasts, or for however long the fireworks is, you know what I mean, going off, he gonna fight him. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he gonna come out there to
He's willing to take risks that most fighters wouldn't, and he's not afraid to absorb a shot if it means landing a devastating one in return.
Certain brands when it comes to like bigger names don't mean it's always the best fight when it comes to skill, and that's where I get where you coming from. But Lamont Roach, you know, he don't got a big name. Good fighter. Champion 130. The thing is, when it comes to Lamont Roach, here is why I say, but people don't know, they'd be like taking cherry picking, but how is Tank cherry picking when literally he's supposed to be right now like the face of boxing right now, like most popular, especially.
Teddy Atlas made a bold statement, ranking Gervonta Davis among the top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. He believes Gervonta Davis' skill set is simply too much for Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis the clear favorite. However, Carmo offered a different perspective, acknowledging Roach as a talented fighter, Gervonta Davis a big leap in pursuit of greatness. He pointed out that while Gervonta Davis' other potential opponents,
Davis just been released to the public. We know now, December 14th, Houston, Texas, he's going to be facing a very tough opponent in Lamont Roach. Can you tell us a little bit about the history between them two?
Oh man, they've been knowing each other from the amateurs, silver gloves, everything. They grew up to action.
Roach was the one who stepped up when others didn't. Meanwhile, Moulton argued that many are underestimating Roach, suggesting the fight could be far more competitive than people expect.